Hey everyone, welcome back to The Range. My name is Matt, also known as the Ammo Nerd. We have a gun review today. Primarily our focus over here on my channel is armor and ballistics, 5.7 or the different ammunition reviews. But from time to time when I get guns in, I feel like I can add a little bit of value to the mix by dumping a bunch of data your way. So we have a handgun for review today. Now granted, I'm not a large channel, so most of my review is somewhat limited because of my ammo budget, but I feel I can offer you guys some solid data. Now, I want to know your guys' thoughts 2026 on the viability of these shorter form, lower round count reviews in the gun tube space. Are these still worthwhile for us to do so you guys can have data, or should we just move on and not do these anymore? Today we've got one that's got a little bit of attention lately. This is the Sig Sauer P211 GTO. Effectively, if you don't know what this is a 1911-2011 style gun that Sig Sauer introduced in 2025. This has the, 4.4-inch barrel with the compensator. They also have now launched a 4-inch non-comped model as well as a 5-inch. Now, before we dive in full transparency, I myself purchased this Sig Sauer P211 GTO from Sig Sauer with industry pricing. I rely heavily on the AdSense revenue or affiliate link stuff that I have, or even my Patreons, to make some of these purchases. So anything you do, like liking the video, sharing it, or commenting on it, helps drive that algorithm. Even if you don't want to watch all of it and you want to put it on 2x and speed through it, watching it towards the end also helps get me in front of more people. If you are new here, our channel focuses heavily on information and data so you guys can make better buying decisions, especially when it comes to ammunition and armor. So if I'm a little dry at times, I apologize, but I'm trying to give you guys as much information as possible so you can make better buying decisions. Now, let's dive into this P211 GTO and see what we have in store today. This is a 2011 style pistol based on the venerable World War 1911. The fire control group is based off of our 80 series 1911. It is a double stack configuration in 9mm, if I forgot to say that. The benefit to this 211 GTO is it uses our Sig Sauer P320 magazine with various capacities up to and over the YouTube standard not shown here. We come with two 21-round magazines with the plastic base pad and one 23-round magazine with our aluminum base pad. This is an optics-ready slide with multiple footprint support. Direct mount is the Sig Lock Pro or Delta Pro point. An adapter plate was used to mount an RMR pattern holosun for the review. We have the integrated Mach 30 compensator that sits flush with the full-length dust cover. We've got our 3-slot accessory rail. It is single action trigger with a grip safety. The grip safety does not lock the slide, so if you didn't depress the grip safety, you can still run the slide back and forth, but obviously if you don't depress that, it won't let you drop the hammer. We have a very large magwell / mag funnel. It is a steel frame and an alloy grip module that can be separated during a full detail strip. We have an ambidextrous thumb safety and slide stops, although the one on the right-hand side for us southpaws is not as effective as the standard left side one. MSRP is the year 2400 or thereabouts, depending on the model and where you source that from. Clearly, this thing is designed to be duty or high-end competition, mid-tier, upper-tier, premium offering, and that's what that price reflects. Starting up front, we've got the integrated Mach 30 compensator, and this is one of the standout features of the gun. Not only does it look good, and I mean, it looks really good, it actually works. I love that flush mount full rail dust cover coming right up to that compensator. Combined with the weight of this all-metal frame, this is a very flat shooting pistol. That Mach 30 compensator is cut so that the main chamber forces the gases down and then out and up the sides. It attaches something similar to what resembles a tri-lug mount. There are no threads on this barrel. Moving back from the compensator, we have a standard dovetail cut for our front sight, which is fiber optic from the factory. We've got our optics ready slide for support with multiple footprints. We have clean machining with no weird tool marks anywhere on this particular sample that I could find. We have standard ambidextrous controls to include thumb safety and our slide stop slide release, and we do have a reversible mag release, and the mags do drop free on these. I think the base pad definitely adds a little bit of weight to those so they actually will drop free pretty easily. The grip module combined with the factory panels and frame texturing feels excellent in the hand. Bare hands, gloves, it doesn't matter, it locks in very well. As the great late Paul Harrell would say, this one fits my hands better. I have medium to large hands, but pretty short fingers, and I had no trouble shooting this at all. I do appreciate the very large trigger guard so that when I was shooting with gloves in the wintertime, I could actually use the trigger without any issues. Deacon actually was able to shoot this without any issue as well, and he has, you know, somewhat small hands, and he had no troubles controlling this. We've got that large flared mag well or slash funnel that makes reloads extremely forgiving. We have the grip safety that, importantly, as I mentioned, does not interfere with racking the slide. The P211 GTO uses our Sig Sauer P320 magazines, which is a pretty big departure from traditional 2011 style guns. The base plates are solid even on the plastic 21 round models. I do prefer the 23 round ones. They are very easy to load. They're widely available, generally affordable compared to the other double stack platforms, and as I mentioned, they are drop free. Now, the only downside is they are not compatible with the Staccato or any of the other 2011s that are on the market. Our P211 GTO uses a single action trigger, and overall it's pretty solid. The pull weight from the factory is more than acceptable. The travel is short and the reset is quick. If I had to nitpick, there is a bit of mush compared to what you might expect from a high-end single-action 2011 trigger. That said, it's still a pretty usable trigger that is very predictable with a good pull and reset, and I feel for its intended use, it can do just fine. If you don't like the trigger, being that it's a 1911-2011 derivative, there are varying different gunsmiths that would be more than happy to help you fine-tune this trigger. It does have an over-travel stop screw in there, but from the factory it is not adjusted out and there is no over-travel on this. As far as our trigger pull goes, there's our take-up right there, and like I said, there's a little bit of mush. You can see it jiggle up and down a little bit, but there is the brake and the reset. Audible and tactile right about there. Right all the way out. So there's just a little bit of mush there. May not be a bad thing depending on your use case for this gun. Right there. Now we'll talk about range performance. All in all, I think I have right around 800 rounds through this gun. Primarily 115 grain full metal jacket Fiocchi. That stuff's not known to be very warm. And I think around 35 to 50 rounds of Federal HST and maybe some other ammunition mixed in there. And absolutely zero failures. Now there's going to be some people who aren't going to like what I'm about to say, but I literally took this thing out of the box with the factory shipping lube or whatever lube that they threw on this at the factory, because, you know, they do fire it at the factory, so they probably lube it there too. Took it right out of the box, right out to the range when it was like 25 degrees outside in the middle of winter. No failures. Even had Deacon shoot it, and he has, you know, children hands, so he has a little weaker grip than what I would consider for shooting handguns, but he did just fine and there were no failures related to that. There is a bit of debate on how many rounds downrange you should put in a gun before you consider it for personal protection, self-defense, or law enforcement use. I think the always general consensus is at least 1,000 to 1,200 rounds, but through the 800 rounds we put through this, I didn't see any red flags that would prevent me from at least recommending my sample that I have here for any of those intended roles. We did use the 8-pound guide or recoil spring the entire time. I think it also ships with a 10-pound, but I didn't have any issues with the 8-pound one that we had in here. I think the big takeaway with this package is how flat it shoots. That compensator coupled with the overall weight of this gun makes it a very flat shooting 9. Those follow-up shots are very easy to acquire, especially once you throw a red dot on top. I'm not sure if the ever-changing YouTube policies will allow me to show you how to field strip this gun, but it's pretty much like a standard 1911 that doesn't have a bushing in the front of the barrel. So you'll pull the slide back to take to the takedown notch and either pull out or drive out the left side slide stop. The right side is captive in the frame. You will remove the guide rod, spring, and plug and push the barrel out the front. One thing to note when removing and reinstalling the comp is that the detent angled portion goes up against the barrel. Frame and grip module are held together with a roll pin at the front top of the trigger guard and the 2 large screws on the grip that look like they retain the side panels, but that's actually part of the machining. One thing I like to hit on is chamber support. Some design feed ramps may leave the case partially unsupported on the underside, but our P211 GTO is fully supported. Plus P should be good to go, but as always, your Plus P Plus is a CYA, use at your own risk. Overall, there's a lot to like here on our Sig P211 GTO. It has great ergonomics, and like I said, it feels great in my hand. It's been reliable across all tested ammunition so far. It's been flat shooting thanks to that compensator plus the weight. It's optics ready right out of the box with a broad compatibility for various RDSs of your choosing. It uses readily available P320 magazines. It has great fit and finish. has this huge mag well that makes reloads almost effortless, and the grip safety is well executed for those who actually like it. Now onto our neutral thoughts and considerations. A couple things worth mentioning. The trigger, while good, is slightly mushy for a single action. Early reports mentioned that plastic guide rod plug had failed. Mine hasn't failed. Sig said that in their internal in-house testing they haven't had one fail yet, but supposedly some of the newer models that have been shipping have now been upgraded to a metal version. There are a couple different aftermarket places that sell them as well. Magazine ecosystem is different, so there is no cross compatibility with any of your 2011 mags that already exist. And of course, overall, there's cost. This is not a budget offering. This is a premium offering that's going to fit in that mid to upper tier space, and that cost could be a deciding factor for a lot of people. I would love to get my hands on a sub $1,000 budget 2011 and then something that costs a little more than this to see how they all compare to each other with fit and finish and overall function. Final thoughts and prayers. Overall, I think Sig Sauer did a really good job on our P211 GTO. This is kind of a take on the 2011. It's not a clone of anything that's already out there, and I think they did a pretty solid job on it. I personally would like to see a 5.5-inch barrel model threaded for suppressor use with a full-length dust cover. That's one of the big things that I like about our 1911s and our 2011s. I like that full rail dust cover that goes all the way out to the end of the barrel. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts if you've gotten your hands on one of the P211 GTO or its variants, the combat model or the 4 or 5-inch. Give us your experiences in the comments below, because you could actually be helping the next person looking to make this purchase. With all that being said, it's time for me to get the heck out of here. But at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who helped make this possible, because there's a lot that goes into all this. Number one is my family. A big thank you to Amy and Deacon for helping me either set up the tripods, run the cameras, and even pull the trigger from time to time. Spending time with them is always a top priority of mine. Deacon would like to remind you all to like and subscribe these videos so that a logarithm can work for us and not against us. Number two are my YouTube and Patreon members. I have a campsite in the description below. It's a landing page. I can't tell you what's on it, but if you're looking to support the channel and say thank you, that's what those links are there for. Number three are the fine folks over at Sig Sauer. Again, in full transparency, I was allowed to purchase this firearm at industry pricing to give you guys solid data on. And of course, number four is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.